We're making earthy, hearty, rustic bread today, and you don't even need any yeast. Welcome to Help at Home, your resource for great recipes and easy learning. I'm Jim Hightower. Today, easy, hearty, rustic bread. No yeast, no eggs, and it's done in less than an hour. Only 30 minutes in the oven. So grab your pen and paper. Here come the ingredients. You will need 4 cups flour, 1½ teaspoons salt, 1½ tablespoons melted shortening. That's white shortening like Crisco. 6 level teaspoons of baking powder, which is actually 2 tablespoons, and 2 cups of milk. That's all there is to it. Preheat your oven to 450 degrees. Get your bread pan, spray it really good, and you're good to go. Just to show you how simple this is all we need. All the dry ingredients are in one bowl. You stir it around once just to mix them together. My shortening is in with my milk. I put it in the microwave for 2 minutes to melt it, stir it around. You just pour in your milk and mix it with a spoon here. I have my favorite broken wooden spoon. So just mix it. Use what we call elbow grease in the South. And remember, flour is sometimes slow to soak up the liquid. So, if you find that it's a little dry, you can stop, let it sit about 2 minutes, even 5 minutes, come back, stir it again. You'll be amazed. But it's little tips like that that you need to write down. So, I came back after 2 minutes and gave it a little mix, and all my little dry bits are gone. Just gonna put that down. At any rate, here it is. Now, you got a couple of options here. You can, fold it over. Well, actually, work it a minute. And then, kind of fold it over and try to have a nice flat top like bread. But I have found that if you just take it and, let it be itself, drop it right in, and just give it a little push here. You want to get it out to the corners. It'll leave some crusty points on top, and people will be like, oh my goodness, how did you learn how to do something like that? I didn't know you could make artisan bread. Shh, they don't have to know. So, that's it. Into your 450 degree preheated oven for up to 30 minutes. Check it at 20. Always use a timer. And it will puff up and start to pull away from the sides a little bit. Don't overcook it, or you'll be sad. And who wants to be sad when you're making nice rustic bread? If you're sitting there thinking, well, yay, rustic bread, what's rustic bread good for? It's not really meant to be a sandwich bread replacement, although if you sliced it thin enough, you could give it a try. It is a little bit more dense than regular bread, but it's great to slice. You can use it like toast or even like a biscuit. Put your jelly on there, your peanut butter. One of my favorites, however healthy, is to get about 2 tablespoons of peanut butter and twice that amount of some Karo corn syrup. Mix it together into a little peanut butter gravy. Num num. Put it on that bread and eat it. Good stuff. It's nice to use in dipping in a stew, or a nice hearty soup, or chili, or any of these things that you like to have bread or a roll with. And because it's hearty and will hold up, it won't go wah, wah, wah like regular bread. So that's one of my favorite things about it. Here is my bread, and it only took 25 minutes in my oven. Look how big it came up. You just never know how this rustic bread is going to form on top. It's always different. So I'm going to turn it over, lift your pan off. Look at that. Now, I let it cool for about 12 minutes before I took it out of the pan so that it could shrink down, recompose itself, and hold together when I went to unmold it. Now, even before you cut it, I mean, everybody loves hot bread. However, it's good to let this cool to room temperature, or give it at least 15 or 20 minutes. Things continue to cook a little bit as they cool, and you'd hate for this to go mushy on you because it's just so good. And I have a surprise for you. We can't cut into this, but we can cut into one I made earlier. This is some bread that I made on Monday, and this is Saturday morning. And see how this top came out? Kind of pointed and crusty. That's nice. And see that bread, the grain in there. You can slice it thin. You can slice it thick. You could cut the top off and slice it into sticks to dip into a soup or a chili or a stew. Any of these wonderful things that we're having that are nice and hearty on these cold days that are coming up. I'm going to go back to my recipe. Now, I gave this the name Rustic bread, but actually it's called baking powder bread. This is a very old recipe. It comes from a 1918 Calumet baking powder cookbook that was really just a little pamphlet for World War I, 1918. How to, conserve our food and still have delicious recipes. If you could find a mixed grain flour, I bet that would make this even better. Yummo yummo. Like your multi-grain crackers, except multi-grain bread. If you like this recipe for delicious rustic bread, also known as baking powder bread, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and share with your friends who like to cook or just want to learn how. Drop me a line in the comments below about your experience with this recipe and what else you'd like to see in the kitchen. Click the bell in the top right hand corner for notifications. I'm Jim Hightower, and remember, everyone needs help. Even me. Enjoy. We're making hearty, no yeast, no eggs, and that's it. Into your